Hey all, and welcome back to Bayonetta. Jean is no more, but the truth still eludes us. So, it's time to head up a tower to the truth itself. Let's rock.
Oh, that was so cheesy, but I mean that's basically what's happening, so it's all good.
This is, as I mentioned last time, not one of my favourite levels in the game. I find it a bit clunky, although some of the set pieces in here are glorious. So
Yes.
It's kind of at odds with like itself, so to speak. But I'm not going to start off this part on a wholly negative note. So Richie, what did you think?
I would say probably mixed opinions about this verse. I like it. This chapter. I like it. I like the sense of you're climbing up the tower. That's quite epic. And there are some really fun fights in here. It's just there's two set pieces in particular that I find to be a lot clunkier than they perhaps needed to be.
Yeah.
I will point them out. You probably already know what they are, Tom, having played it. And I think pretty much everyone else would agree that those are sort of the two worst verses in this chapter. But it is a lot of fun, and there's some challenging battles in this. And yeah, I'm quite excited to show off everything that awaits, because you probably missed more than a few verses in this one.
Oh, you know me so well, Rich. My incompetence, my jackassery, it's all on display.
Yes, but the mystery delves a bit deeper, because that voice is Daddy, apparently.
Oh, there's a word that the internet's ruined.
Yeah, they really have. It's disturbing what the internet can do to words.
Alright, so let's see. First glance, it just looks like your average bank, and, well, there goes Luca. I wasn't expecting to have, like, a Sora and Riku team-up attack with Luca, but, you know, just contrivance for story purposes, I suppose.
But also, I mean, there's no way that he can climb up the inside of this, so he's just got to go up the stairs as any normal person would. But yes, first verse, immediately thrust into a battle against Fairness and Fearless, and there's going to be a lot of statues throughout this, and you are going to be wanting to attack pretty much most of them, because a lot of them do have verses hidden inside.
Yes.
So you can actually end up missing quite a few verses in this particular chapter, because if you don't attack the statues, then you just kind of run forward and you're all good.
I suppose in that regard, it's an alright chapter for progression, apart from, like, the clunky verses that we mentioned, because, like you said, you don't have to fight these guys a lot of the time. Like, if an angel wall doesn't go up, you're sound as a pan.
Exactly, and there are very few kind of compulsory verses. Well, there are many, because obviously it's the sort of final regular level, but there's a lot that you can just roll on straight past, and it's great.
Yeah, completely missed this, by the
way. Yeah, you will have missed a lot then, because this platform over here has got quite a lot of stuff. It's got that broken witch heart, it's got Number and Tears of Blood hidden up in the rafters. It's a bit difficult to see, but it's there, and the way you get it is you just got to kind of do a masterful double jump and, like, wall climby thingy up the top there.
Not bad, mate. Second try.
Yes, well, I probably would have got it the first time, but I decided I was gonna try and beast within to get a bit of speed or something. I don't know what I was thinking, but still.
I gotta say, now that we're actually here in the endgame, I'm getting really excited to play Bayonetta 2, because I promised myself I'd hold off until we were done, so I wouldn't dilute my Bayonetta 1 impressions and whatnot. So, and also, you know, it's just nice to get that feeling of finishing a playthrough and being able to change, like, the playlist tag from in progress to complete.
Oh yeah, that is always delightful. It's going to take me a while to do that for my current playthrough, because there's quite a lot of parts in that one. Hey, it's what happens with the Kingdom Hearts game.
Yep.
But yes, these Ardors right here are on fire. So what I have done is I have made use of Durga's multi-fireball capability. I can just hit these guys and punch them regularly, and I'm not affected by the fire. Apparently there are a couple of other ways that you can do this. I think called Shedra allows you to achieve it as well. but Durg is probably your safest bet. I'm not going to get a very high ranking for this, because the explosions on Durg are quite powerful.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is that obviously they don't increase your combo score that much. I mean, still managed to get a platinum out of it, but I'm probably going to go on a bit higher.
But I think it's the time and your lack of damage that really helped you just get over the hurdle that was your low combo rating.
Well, the thing is that combo rating was actually a platinum. It's just that it felt like I could have gone higher, but there we go. Still ended up with a platinum in that fight, so I'm totally down with it. And I do quite like this fight against the Braves because there's just loads of them and they keep coming up and they can join together to be a massive beloved. But as you can see, I'm murdering them before they can actually achieve that, which is always very satisfying.
Alright, let's see what you got in this one. Throw a little smoochy poo at the wall and we shall move on.
I thought it was that. I recall doing it and I'm just like, yeah, I was super proud of that battle. Less perhaps super proud of this one, because if you attack these statues, Gracious and Glorious are here to attack you.
Yay! Never really got the hang of fighting these fuckers, but whatever, it's like the second to last chapter or whatever.
Pretty much, and this is effectively the last time that you are actually going to see them. There might be another fight against them later on in this chapter, but this is the last chapter where you're actually going to have to battle them. So that does make it a lot simpler.
Man, you are just like going to town with these shotguns and whatnot. I gotta say, your gunplay in this playthrough has been magnificent.
Why, thank you very much. I mean, I would bloody hope so, because otherwise I would not be getting any of these bloody platinums.
Yeah. The retake, like, efficiency shows, trust me. I am a man of many retakes.
Well, I have to say, there were far fewer retakes throughout this playthrough than there probably could have been. It was only sort of the ones that took me the longest time to do were the bosses, and I think it was chapter 5, but that's just because that's ridiculously long and I hate it.
Alright, so we've got a battle with the joys here. Like I mentioned earlier, I love fighting enemies on the same level as the protagonist.
Oh, definitely. It's always just a major delight to do so.
Look, if the game's going to recycle content, I'm going to as well.
I mean, yeah, there is a lot to... Well, they're not exactly recycling content, they're just using enemies as they would do otherwise.
Look, it's a circular tower that goes up and up and up and just throws wave after wave of enemy and bosses at you, okay?
I mean, that is true. This is effectively your boss rush chapter for the game, and I think it works in that regard. As I said, there's two chapters which are not as good as they could be. In fact, I think we're getting close to one of them now.
Verse, mate. You're all higgledy-piggledy today.
Yeah, I really am, and it's appalling, but hey, these things happen.
I gotta say I'm in a pretty good mood now, because I just finished editing Kubo in the 2 Strings commentary that was voted for by our patrons. Thank you very much. Great great movie, and not to pat myself on the back, of course. I'll praise anyone else's work, but God forbid I cut myself some slack every now and then. But seeing as this will go up on the Monday, I'm assuming most of you will have watched it by now. But if you haven't, go and watch it without block off. I need to eat.
Or, just donate on Patreon. Well,
you pledge. It's not a donation. Thank you.
I know. I always get confused because I don't have one, so it just all goes over my head.
Well, technically you do, Richie, because out of the goodness of my heart, I share the wealth with the HellfireComms.
Teeny bit of the
Oh, you made me sound like such a Scrooge, but really, I temper my Scrooginess, if you'll pardon the ill-timed pun.
Yeah. Anyway, this particular chapter is fine. Chapter, verse, bloody hell!
No.
Anyway, it's the next verse that is the one that a lot of people do not like, for reasons that will become painfully obvious when we actually get there.
Pain is correct. I died more than once.
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant of verses in the game.
Nice to see you making use of the angels' arms and whatnot, mate.
Well, you see, it's because what had happened before I recorded this is I'd actually watched someone do a playthrough of this verse, I can't remember why, and it's actually something that's very helpful for the next fight that comes up after this. So yes, this is the verse that not many people like, because you've got to take control of a turret. And if you look at that canon text, that's basically Metroid text.
Nice. Allow me to explain the reason why this doesn't really... Like, it's not as hype as it should be. The canon, it's a bit stiff. Like,
yes.
It feels like if there's a missile already coming towards you and it's reached a certain distance, normally you could just, like, swat it out of the sky, but not here. You either have to, like, take the L, take the damage, or just back off the turret altogether.
Basically, so, I mean, the way that you get through this successfully is indeed you make sure that you shoot down the cherubic missiles as you go. And there are certain moves that you've got to make sure that you get out of the way for, otherwise you will get hurt. I think one of them is going to occur very shortly. And, yeah, so the issue with it is that you are going to be spending a lot of time just mashing that button to make sure that you're getting damage in, and here it comes. I thought I could just dodge out the way of it. Thankfully, I think actually a missile from our cannon hit him and it stopped him.
Yeah.
But still, what I sort of wanted in this particular fight was the super powerfulness of the... What do I want to say? You know, the Witch Time Wicked Weave missiles that you got during Chapter 14?
Yes.
I think that would have helped just make this go a lot quicker than it ultimately does. Because as it stands, like, I'm not doing horrendously at this. I mean, I'm still getting hit far more than I really should be, but I'm taking him down in pretty decent time.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any major errors here, apart from him, like, twatting the building and you just getting caught on, like, the skirts of his fingers.
Yeah, what I really should have done was got out of the way a lot quicker, and I think I might end up getting hit again here by this. I mean, what you're meant to do here is just get the hell out of dodge.
Yeah.
Get behind the wall. But as you can see, I didn't, and I got absolutely buggered over by that.
That was a fairly large, like, chunky health bar as well.
Exactly, but thankfully he is now dead. So that's one awkward verse done. As you can see, that went not very well at all.
Yeah, you probably would have got a gold if it weren't for that final blow.
Exactly. But now that that's done, we've got to go all the way to the bottom of the tower, and an Alfheim will be waiting for us.
Oh, Alpheims. I actually completely forgot about these things.
Yeah, there's not very many of them left, but some of them do require a bit of backtracking. This one being probably the most egregious of the ones that we've got left. Because we've got to peg it all the way down to the bottom of the tower. That said, this did prove to be actually quite helpful for me, because on my journey down, because you're effectively going into different parts of the level as you go, and it's sort of loading a bit as it goes.
Ah, yes.
It's respawning some other pots. And obviously those pots have a chance of giving you health. And so I'm going to get a surprising amount of health back from all of these as I go.
Bless you.
So, yes, the Alfheim is sitting just over here, but I thought, you know what, I just want to make sure that I test all of these vases just to see if there's anything I can deal with. Also, you know, going into the Alfheim and coming back out of the Alfheim will respawn everything, so that also really helps.
Alright, what are we working with here? Witch Time disabled. Ooh.
Yeah, this one is not fun, and that is why I just went Durga all the way in this, because as Witch Time is disabled, these guys are on fire. It's just not fun.
Damn, man, you are cutting these guys to ribbons.
Well, it took me a number of tries, so I just got really angry and was just ready to murder. So it was just like, yeah, I'm just going the cheap-ass way through because I really don't care at this point.
Well, at least you can still use torture attacks and whatnot. That's the silver lining.
Yeah, otherwise this would have just been hellish. Really, this is a really helpful way of murdering these guys. And then obviously once you get the double, I think it's double grace, or it might be double glory. I can never remember which way around these guys go. Particularly because when you get to gracious and glorious, it switches up. So grace is the same as glorious, and glory is the same as gracious. Because that makes so much sense.
At least you're still able to use Bat Within for this as well, so you got a little bit of insurance there.
Oh yeah, I mean, one of the ways that you can make those sorts of battles easier is if you have the Evil Harvest Rosary. Because what that accessory does is it effectively completely cancels out Witch Time. You can't use Witch Time. But if you dodge at the moment where you would have gotten Witch Time, it leaves behind a sort of Spirit Bomb that will damage enemies. And effectively, that is how most people would recommend you tackle Non-Stop Infinite Climax mode, and also the game's super secret optional boss.
Right.
Because since Non-Stop Infinite Climax mode completely removes Witch Time from your arsenal, if you have that accessory, you don't need to worry about not having it in your arsenal, because you've got the thing that acts the same as if you did use it, but you just don't have to worry because you're causing that extra damage.
Sorry, my eyes pretty much glazed over there. I was just enjoying the sound of you boys.
Well, it's a good job, because I'm just rabbiting on like there's no tomorrow, because I love Bayonetta so much.
Hey man, that's why we did the playthrough in the first place.
Exactly. Thank God I finally persuaded you to do this.
Once again, we are doing the second game. Might not be this year, but it'll come, don't worry.
I am super excited for that, and I mean, I know, you kind of want to do Wonderful 101 first, but I'm still holding out hope that Wonderful 101 on Switch will happen, so I might record Bayonetta 2 first before I do that. We'll see what happens.
Well, for us, we've got Sonic Adventure 2 coming up.
Yes.
We have Little King's Story.
Yes.
So, lots of good Richie-centric HFC content coming soon.
Yes. Although I can picture quite a bit of Little King's Story now, and me just going, Tom, not that way, the other way.
Yes, we've spoken of this already, and yeah, the CEO of the Ethervol, is that right?
Ithervol.
Yeah, is apparently a descendant of the Lumens, so this is going to get very interesting once we reach the peak of this tower.
Indeed. There's a lot of very important backstory in these particular notes from Antonio that are littered throughout the Tower to Truth. And a lot of it is to do with the Ithervol group and its mysterious CEO. And yeah, we're going to find out quite a lot of stuff as we continue to climb. But yeah, basically, it seems like the Ithervol CEO is using extra powers as leverage to achieve his own goals.
Okay, so he doesn't have, like, his underlings' best interests in mind?
Effectively, yes. Now, I believe it, yes. Is it this one? It might be this one. There's one moment which is going to call... Oh, it is this one. Where a lift decides it's just going to crash down on you and try and smush you. That's always fun.
I got caught by that.
Was that an instant KO one or not? I can't remember.
I don't think it is, no.
Yeah, well that's good. But yes, the reason why I made sure to pick up that spear is because in this video that I'd watched of someone doing this particular... this particular chapter, I saw them do that manoeuvre, and it just absolutely obliterates Justice's health bar.
Oh wow.
And gets you a really good combo ranking. So it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna just take that and just... I was thinking I'll just claim that as my own technique. No, I'm giving full credit that I saw that happen, and I just thought, you know what, that's actually really amazing, and I just want to nick that technique because that is awesome.
Do you have the channel that you got it from?
I do not, unfortunately. It's one of those things where I never remember these things.
Ah, well, just say your dad knew it.
Exactly. But I'm pretty sure that will hopefully maybe have gotten me a pure platinum on that verse, that's like probably one of the easiest pure platinum. Yeah, one of the easiest pure platinums that you can get in this chapter.
You say pure platinum, like Pat from Two Best Friends?
I think I might have done. It's one of those things where words just don't quite escape the mouth correctly.
Well, what was I gonna say? I've completely forgotten now. But we're reaching fantastical land, so I don't think it matters.
Yeah, we're about to get to that other slightly clunky verse. Very shortly, actually. Got a few other things to do before then, however, because there's stuff hidden in all of these little nooks and crannies. So, another Broken Witch Heart. They're really giving these out, but these are the last Broken Witch Hearts in the game.
Right, yeah.
So, it's worth, picking them up.
Like, it's visually a spectacle.
Oh god, yes.
Like, I'm glad it's in the game, but I have to say, I got lost more than once in this bit.
Oh yeah, this is easily the section of this level where you're going to get lost. Because you don't know whether you're going up, you're going down, whether you're going up and down and all around.
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. But thankfully, there's this hidden verse, which is another one of the all the angels are on fire, because of course they are. But thankfully they're going to stop it with the fire angels shortly, so it's less of a worry.
Not bad, not bad. It was only a combo that let you down there.
It was, and that's because I'm using Fire Dagger and just doing the bomb attack. If I hadn't have chosen to do that, then it would have been fine. And thankfully this Umbrant Hazel decided he was going to come back, otherwise I would have been very miserable.
What a silly tit. Like, he may be of the underworld, but he doesn't really have common sense.
I know, it's just like someone's trapped you in a cage, and then you decide to just bugger off, and then come back to where you were trapped in a cage. It's just like, did they just shove the box on you because they just thought make it easier for someone to come and try and pick you up?
Yeah, well, enough about crows. Let's have a little look at this.
Yes, so we're getting even more information about the Ithavoll CEO, and the symbol of modernity that is Isla del Sol.
Did seem a bit weird for a religious group that's rooted in the past, like this religion specifically, to have such a modern-looking place.
Oh, definitely, but the whole idea of that is using that technology to ultimately achieve Boulder, which is the name of Ithavoll CEO, his goal.
Yeah.
Nobody quite knows exactly what that is, but also he seems to have come out of nowhere. Everything on him has been forged. There's no history of his life before Ithavoll, and he's been about for years and decades, but nobody actually really knows anything about him other than what he's done as the CEO of the Ithavoll group.
Oh Jesus, it's gonna be Saxon all over again.
Yeah, it sort of is. Except rather than it actually being the master, it still is going to be the one behind it all. It's just, it's not going to be the Doctor's best frenemy from another planet.
You were very specific there. You're worrying that people who don't watch Doctor Who won't get that?
A little bit. Because obviously that Saxon's a Series 3 of New Who reference, so it's quite a long time ago now.
Okay, I see now why I got stuck. It panned up to those doors, and I must have completely blanked, because it's like, I had no idea I had to go there.
Yeah, I mean, basically the indicator is you see the doors, it says, go get to these doors. The problem is that you've got these platforms that are kind of moving in to the area and moving out, and it gets really difficult to actually traverse this section, which is why I decided that I was gonna drop back down, wait for it to come back, and then go do my battling.
Okay.
Because there are there's one verse here which is really cruel, because you've got two angels annoyingly on fire that are on this particular platform, and then there's another two angels which are on the platform which is just over in the distance. But obviously the only way that you're going to get across to that platform is by leaping off of these things, and it's just really quite challenging, and I absolutely lucked out.
Yeah, you did.
In terms of getting over here, and oh no, even worse, it's on the next platform across.
God, it never ends. I will say from a technical standpoint, don't get too jump happy in this, otherwise sometimes the witch walk may disengage and you'll just end up falling to your death.
Basically, and as you can see, I had to do some pretty nifty jump manoeuvres in order to get across here, because I was thinking, well, I've got to move somehow quickly, because otherwise I'm just going to have no time on this, and I'm already going to get a rather rubbishy combo ranking. I don't want to do even worse on the time, but thankfully, if I hadn't got hit just there, it would have been another bloody pure platinum. God damn it.
I mean, from a visual standpoint, this is amazing, but it does smack a bit of, like, I don't know, early to mid 2000s or like late 2000s game design before things start to become more handheldy and whatnot. Like, you're stuck here and it's not really going to give you any pointers.
I mean, thankfully, it's not too bad.
No, it's not.
But I would say that this is definitely the clunkiest section of the verse. Because if you don't... Yeah. Oh my god, it's going to continue throughout the entirety of this chapter. Make sure I get it correct.
Well, thank you for giving me material for this part's description, that's all I'm saying.
Richie forgets what a chapter is.
That I do.
Yeah, that point was just like, for God's sake, I had to fall off it at that last minute. I'd done so well. And then it was just like, right, no, just peg it and then I'll make it across. Now, right now I have to be super careful because I don't want to instigate the next fight. Because what I want is I want to get the final Umbran resting places and the final book. So this is the final note from Antonio, Ithabol CEO number 2. Which shows even more the truth behind what was going on.
Boulder, there's a name that sounds familiar.
Yes, so Boulder has been using, well, effectively using the corpses of the Umbran witches to kind of power whatever machines he's been making in here.
Jesus.
That is ultimately the source of his next generation energy. And it's been completely hidden under just complete media control, which, I mean, is very impressive for any company. Having, like, working in a press team, you just, like... to have that much control over what is being put out there, that's insane. Because half the time, you're just like, you're playing catch-up, because you're just like,
yeah, go on,
how did that get there?
Yeah.
And then other times you're just like, where did you get that information? Because it's so incredibly wrong. But yes, once you've picked all of the notes from Antonio up, you get another note, to my beloved son, which finally, once and for all, reveals that Antonio, who has written all of these notes, was in fact Luca's father.
Oh, I was actually going to ask earlier in this chapter who Antonio was, because I'd completely forgotten.
Yep, so Antonio Redgrave is in fact Luca's father, which means that Luca's name is in fact Luca Redgrave. Yeah, it's just really touching to see this. And it then begs the question of... Because I believe it's kind of canonical that Bayonetta probably picks all these up. So, does she ever show Luca that note?
I don't think Kamiya thought that far ahead, honestly.
I don't think he did either. But it's fine, because right over here, this is our final Umbran resting place in the game.
Now we have all the Chaos Emeralds.
We have all the Chaos Emeralds, but we're still missing one broken witch heart, I believe.
Huh. Where's that little fella come from, then?
I believe that little fella is actually in the epilogue of the game.
Okay.
But yes, we get to fight Golem up here, and obviously it's another fight against Golem, so it's perfectly fun.
Yeah, it's not hard in the slightest, I'm going to be honest with you, it's just fun.
Yeah, although I think I'm potentially going to get my ass handed to me a little bit.
Richie! Ah!
Hey, it had been a while since I'd fought Golem, and really I was just tired, because I'm pretty sure it took me a while to get through the, the Alfheim that was in this chapter. But actually no, this hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to get my ass handed to me. That might be just me remembering another fight against Golem.
Yeah, the different verse, sorry, chapter, sorry, epilogue, sorry, finisher.
Sorry, climax. Use the correct terminology
Oh,
here.
fuck you. Even in the end, he still gets me. Oh, I love this finisher.
Climax attack, for the love of God.
Plop. And smack him up.
Just so incredibly satisfying.
Nice.
Yeah, 13 really was not Golem's lucky number.
No, not in the slightest. And there we go, chapter pretty much over.
Pretty much, we've just got one fight left to go, and it's a slightly terrifying one, but it's quite fun, so just run with it.
It's got my favourite virtue. I think I've decided now. Like, this guy's my favourite.
Yes, so we get to fight Prudence, which is obviously a weaker version of Sapientia. And the whole gist of this is that the building is crumbling behind you, and you've got to keep beating his ass, which then pushes him further up the building, which then allows you to escape. If that kind of the fire behind you catches up, I'm pretty sure it does kill you.
Yeah.
So you do have to move very quickly in this, but as long as you're attacking constantly and dodging, then you can cause quite a lot of damage very quickly and make that movement to get up here.
I have to acknowledge the fact that I'm not a builder. I don't know how building structures work and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure if the bottom of a building explodes, the top should come crumbling down automatically.
Yes, but I think the situation here is that it's not necessarily that the building is exploding in the kind of typical sense. It's more the fire is erupting out of it, and I suppose part of it is exploding.
But
That's
cool.
Oh yeah, and then it just gets spiked. It's great.
He got Saraband.
He did indeed, and now we have to leg it. Thankfully, as long as you're in Beast Within, this fire can't harm you. At least I don't think it can.
Yeah, I was worrying a little bit here myself, but I think it's just a bit of tricksy poo on the game's part.
I agree, but yes, once you've done that, that is your last verse for this chapter. And all you have to do is destroy these red liquid globules, and this sphere will lift us up to the location of Chapter 16.
Ooh, how very meta.
I know, which is easily one of my favourite chapters in the game. It's incredible.
It's pretty good, I'll give Richie that.
I'm so excited, and I love that we've had this long, slightly challenging climb, and the sort of final moment is us just moving up this angelic bridge with the moon high in the sky towards this mysterious sphere above the Isla del Sol. It's just that sort of calm before the storm moment, and I just really love it.
Well, the guy's office wouldn't have fallen down anyway because it's not physically connected.
Yeah, it's floating in the air using angel magic, because of course it is.
How many Umbran witches have you sacrificed in your life? How many loaves of bread have you eaten? Nicely done there, Rich. A platinum, I assume?
Why would I let this out if it were not a platinum?
I don't know why I keep bother asking, honestly.
It's like I've made it this far, why would I let it be anything else?
True, true. Alright, let's have a bit of angel attack, and then we shall call it for this part.
Well, of course, because as soon as, it loads, it's what you've been waiting for. Angel Attack! That was sort of in time.
Well, I will hold it against you. It was a fairly long part. It's the longest part we're doing today, actually.
Thank God.
Yes, I ain't sitting through the credits and the epilogue, I'm telling you that now.
But, you monster, you have to.
No, because they show that sequence again in the bonus features. I'll sit through it there.
Oh, that's true.
Speaking of, guys, there will be a part every day for Bayonetta this week. We have 5 parts left. Well, technically 4 now, so see you next time for some more.